Welcome, and thank you, Principal Deputy Secretary Monocchio and Councilwoman Hodge Washington, all their VIP guests, and all guests are VIPs. And I also want to thank some of our partners present today, Gorman and Company, represented by Sally and her team. PRC, I don't see Eva, but PRC is also a partner. Other city departments, public housing folks from maintenance and public housing, supported services division, Zona Pacheco, Angela Duncan, who's our deputy housing director overseeing the development division, and her team. So if you're a member of city staff or working on this project directly, please raise your hand, just to get a quick see how many people are representing this team effort. And thank you to everyone. I also want to thank some members of my management team who are present. Aubrey Gonzalez, who's Assistant Housing Director, and Marla and Elena, who are our Deputy Housing Directors as well. We are here at Saluna, the first Choice Neighborhoods Mixed Income Development in Edison-Eastlake, and winner of the 2022 State of Arizona's Housing Hero Award. And just so you know, this is the first Choice implementation project in the state of Arizona as well. This development and all community revitalization underway is only made possible by the $42.5 million received from the Choice Neighborhoods funding. And I was telling the secretary, we're grateful for the $2.5 million we're going to receive today. But in addition to that, this is one of the largest transformations in terms of public housing converting to mixed income housing. We're converting 577 public housing units to over 1,077 units. That's not a small feat. So based on that information and what we're doing here and trying to achieve, I request HUD to give us an additional $10 million to complete this project. I think it's a valid reason to do so as well. So the city's Choice Neighborhood application included $190 million in leverage. This leverage includes infrastructure improvements and services from other city departments and community partners as well. Thank you to our partners and community residents who have also joined us today and been part of the process and transformation from the beginning, including Jasmine has been here from the beginning as well. We're all underway with the transformation of this community, including new housing units, as well as new amenities and services that will be provided in the community, walking distance from many residents' homes. This community will offer various housing options, including a homeownership component. When we are done, we'll have replaced 577 aged and obsolete public housing units with more than 1,000 units of mixed income housing with new amenities that are important to families. To date, 412 units have been built, 90 units are underway, and 575 units to go. So one of the unique aspects of this public housing was the residents did not have dryers and washing machines in their units. That was a big thing among the community members wanting that, and that's been a big success as well. This community will offer housing options, including a homeownership. Housing communities also include many 4 and 5 bedroom units to serve large families, a commitment we made as part of the housing redevelopment plan. We have a lot of refugee families who have large households of 9 residing at this complex as well. We have seen much progress in the neighborhood, and we have seen even more progress in the coming months. Later this year, we'll begin construction of the former Sidney P. Osborne public housing community with a groundbreaking event planned for November. I invite everyone here to join us for that special event. And what will be most special is when you come and present us with a $10 million check. Yes. So early next year, we break ground on Horizon on Via, a 109-unit mixed income community that will be located across the street from Saluna, adjacent to the park. This community will include public arts and open green space, in addition to the rehab of 5 historic buildings that will be repurposed into a family education center to serve the community. We'll have 2 Head Start classrooms to serve 3- and 4-year-old students, a gym, a dental clinic, offices, classrooms, and a maker space. This includes a lot of community partners and nonprofits who will be housed at this site as well. The Housing Department is also committed to digital equity initiatives, being part of HUD's Connect Home USA program since 2017. This community will soon feature a pilot program for community-wide connectivity. Digital Equity Program will also provide free to the tenant Wi-Fi to all affordable housing properties in the Edison-Eastlake community. And we will enable residents to connect both in the units and while out enjoying community spaces like the park. Through the Choice Neighborhoods program, we have considered multiple aspects of sustainability and incorporated heat mitigation strategies into our housing design and community improvements. We are creating a network of green, shaded streets and pathways to enhance walkability and bikeability to destinations within the outside of the community. This important grant provides hundreds of Phoenix residents with access to quality housing and sets a new standard for community-driven economic investment. It's wonderful to have many residents, private sector, city, nonprofit partnerships on this scale to completely transform this neighborhood. Thank you to HUD and all our partners that have played a crucial role in making this revitalization a reality. And I also want to thank all my staff from supportive services, the development division, and other city staff who have done a great job in helping the residents transform and adapt to new standards as well. With this, I'd like to introduce Councilwoman Keisha Hodge-Washington, who's present during a busy schedule. And I just want to talk briefly about her. I also call her one of my champions for more affordable housing in her district. And she's been very supportive of all the endeavors we have done so far. So she's a big support. Keisha Hodge-Washington has proudly served as a District 8 Councilwoman since April 2023. She's the first African-American woman elected to the Phoenix City Council. Councilwoman Hodge-Washington's top priorities in the district are homelessness, affordable and attainable housing, and economic development. She moved to Arizona from the U.S. Virgin Islands in 1999 and has been active in Phoenix ever since. She is the first-generation college graduate who earned a bachelor's degree at the University of the Virgin Islands and a law degree from Arizona State University College of Law. She served as Assistant Attorney General, working to protect children in physically and sexually abusive environments before moving into private practice. Councilwoman Hodge-Washington is a professional problem solver, lawyer, consensus builder, and a passionate leader committed to the constructive development of our community. Among her community service, she helps to raise scholarship money for high school and college students, mentors young women, and provides free legal services to those who need. At this moment, I'd like to introduce and bring over Councilwoman Hodge-Washington.
Thank you so much, Titus. I'm looking forward to my letter of support for your $10 million ask. I follow along very well. Welcome and thank you to Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary Monaco for joining us today here at Saluna during our favorite season of the year. It's a little warm, but hopefully it's been good to you. As mentioned, I'm the proud council member representing City of Phoenix District 8, which includes the Edison-Eastlake Choice Neighborhood community. With the help and support of HUD, we are seeing the evolution of change here at the Edison-Eastlake community. With the renewed investment in this community, we are truly improving the quality of lives for our residents that call this neighborhood home. Where we are standing right now was a long time vacant and underutilized lot. Our HUD Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant funds were critical to helping the city develop Saluna, which is now this beautiful 177-unit mixed income apartment community that was completed in 2022. Housing is just one component though. We're invested in neighborhood revitalization and beautification, something that Edison-Eastlake residents specifically told us were very important to us. So this is a very exciting time for this community as we continue to invest. For example, outside of these doors, you'll notice public art that represents the Edison-Eastlake community, including the Saluna Art Plaza with resident and youth artwork on the shade structures and artistic murals that adorn two walls here at Saluna. Across the street, you have Edison Park, which will be expanded, and a new linear park across 19th Street, adjacent to Harmony at the Park community, which will be integrated to activate the neighborhood. Those parks, they're going to feature new amenities such as walk-in paths, fitness station, a healing garden, a skate park, playgrounds, a multi-purpose sport field, and lots of trees, which we know provide needed shade for our community to enjoy. In the heart of this community, across the street to the south, is the historic building that will be renovated to become the Edison Impact Hub. This adaptive reuse project, thanks in part to $1 million from HUD's Community Project Funding Grant through Congressman Ruben Gallego's office, will provide important services to the community, such as behavioral health and medical clinic, as well as a commercial community kitchen for emerging food entrepreneurs, a digital equity center, classroom space, workforce development programs, and public art. These services, together with the Family Education Center, will make this neighborhood rich with much needed family oriented services and amenities. It's very exciting times. These are just some of the great things that are at work to transform the Edison-Eastlake community, once known to have the highest concentration of public housing in the state. But we know that a project of this magnitude takes many hands. We could not accomplish all of this without our partners that serve our residents. The city is dedicated to education for children and adults, workforce opportunities, and the safety and health of the residents in the Edison-Eastlake community. Thank you to Phoenix Revitalization Corporation and to our resident leaders who have dedicated their time, energy, and commitment to making the Edison-Eastlake community a great place to live. They are also frequent visitors to my office when they do their tour of City Hall, so I'm looking forward to hosting them in a few. We are so proud of the work that they've accomplished to date and look forward to our collective continued progress to make the Edison-Eastlake community a neighborhood that residents are proud to call home. Again, thank you to Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary Monaco for your interest in the Edison-Eastlake community and for HUD's continued support and commitment. We are grateful for your partnership, for the trust you have placed in us, and I want to personally thank you for awarding Phoenix the additional $1.5 million in Choice Neighborhoods Supplemental Grant funds to help us bring more units to address the shortage of affordable housing here in our community. So thank you.
Next, I want to introduce Jasmine Rivera, who's been an active member of the Edison-Eastlake community since 2015. As a former public housing resident, she became involved with community projects through the Resident Leadership Council in 2017. Jasmine is a proud Arizona State University graduate with a bachelor's degree in interior design. During her senior year at ASU, Jasmine was selected to intern at the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden in Washington, D.C. She currently works at a local art museum, and she and her family continue to live in the Edison-Eastlake community. Jasmine?
Hello, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone for being here today, and now I can put faces to HUD and to all the different programs and people that have made this community better. I want to start off by saying as well that there's been a lot of people involved in this, and not only myself, but a lot of parents and children, and I mean, you see the art everywhere, and not only the facade that is shown, but also the changes that have happened internally in the community. And I think that's something that has affected all of us here today, and it surely has affected me in a very positive way. I'm very proud to be part of this community. I think being a part of the programs and everything that moved at the time that I got here, because I feel like that's where it all began to sort of take place when I got here. It really changed me and saved me at a very young age getting involved in my community. So I want to say thank you for providing these opportunities for young children. And that is all. I don't have a paper with me, but I want to say thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jasmine. Before I introduce the Principal Deputy Secretary, I just want to do a shameless plug. So one of the things I do is I get to travel quite a bit around the country for work, and I meet other PHA executives and officers, and we talk about HUD, sometimes in a nice way. So I have to say this. All my travels, one thing I want to stand out to me is, and I want to talk about, is the local HUD office. I want to give credit to the local HUD office for doing an outstanding job. They've been very supportive of Phoenix and have a good partnership with them. It's very unusual, but I actually love the opportunity to continue working with them, and they do a great job as well. So I just want to make sure I let you know that. So Secretary Monarchia was appointed to serve as a Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of HUD's Office of Public Indian Housing and has dedicated his professional career to public service. He has served in several city government capacities for the City of Chicago and has also worked on the federal level, serving at HUD during the Clinton administration. He's passionate about building community around the strengths and needs of residents and advocates for safe, affordable housing. Through his leadership, dozens of recreational, educational, and vocational programs have been implemented to serve families and children in assisted housing. At this point, I'd like to bring over Secretary Knopfler.
Thank you very much, Titus, for that introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today to see this incredible development. You know, I've been able, as Titus mentioned, I've been able to, it's my second tour of duty at HUD. I've been, the beauty of it is I've been able to get to about 100 different tribal areas and cities. And what I've seen is amazing. The work that public housing authorities are doing is transformational. And what I've already seen here and what I've heard is on top of the list. The Choice Neighborhood Program, which we're here to celebrate and also provide a little more money, maybe not as much as you want or need, but that may come on a different day. I just want to really focus on a few things here before we get to the main event. First, this development program, Choice Neighborhoods, is really the most effective federal development program in history. A lot of it was lessons learned, right? A lot of us, some of us, were around in the Hope 6 days, which was also a great time for housing, right? I mean, we remember when everything that we heard about public and assisted housing was pretty negative, right? I happen to be part of the team at the federal government that went to take over the Chicago Housing Authority. And unfortunately, that was sort of the symbol. But that's not what this is about, right? This is what this is about. This is what this is about. And that's what choice is, right? In all of the features of choice we see here, the best features, mixed income, green spaces, amazing, activities for kids, resident-driven, a very important point. The thing I want to focus on, though, is our kids, our young people. I mean, that's why I do what I do. You know, we're at a time, unfortunately, that it's harder and harder for folks in the bottom layers of the economy to get up. And we need to change that because it is just flat out wrong for the main determinant of a young person's future to be the zip code that they're born in. That's not right. That isn't what this country's about. And here we're starting to see that change, and we're going to see that change because this family education center, I can't wait to see it when it's open, but Head Start after school programs, so critical. I've seen it all over the country. When we can get our kids into early Head Start, into Head Start, and then also provide them with some activities after school, the payoff, well, first of all, it's the right thing to do. Kids deserve to be kids, first of all, right? We talk about sort of the kids, and then, you know, what becomes of them. But we need to allow them to be kids, and that's our job, because a lot of families don't have the means to do it. They're working hard, but they don't have the means. That's where we step in. And that's why Choice is so great, because it allows things like this to happen. It allows things like this to happen. And I want to congratulate you, Titus, Councilwoman, for your leadership as well. Congressman Gallego made a huge contribution to this development as well. I'm going to close to talk a little bit about the 10 million, because it's important. So we have a big problem in this country in terms of the cost of housing. We recognize that. The Biden-Harris administration recognizes that. We aim to do something about it. And the primary way that we're going to bring housing costs down, but also provide the necessary homes and apartments that people in this country need, is by dramatically increasing housing supply. So what we've seen in this budget, the president's budget, which is transformational, we're seeing huge increases in tax credit equity, which help build this development, development subsidies, which help build this development. So that's where the 10 million is going to come from, okay? This country needs this in a big way. We need a federal housing production program. That's what this administration is proposing, and that's what's going to happen. And I think the beauty of it is, I started my talk looking back a little, like to the mid-90s when Hope 6 started. A lot of the high-rise developments that unfortunately stigmatized public housing came down, and the communities were rebuilt. The street grid was reconnected, right? I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic because, and sometimes people say to me, well, Rich, is that really going to happen? Yeah, it's going to happen because it can't, we absolutely positively need it. Housing has been neglected in this country for way too long, okay? Just like we've done with infrastructure. Just like what was done with infrastructure, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act. Unfortunately, the housing part got left out. But the housing part's coming back. And we are going to realize the potential of all of these communities. And I've seen them all over the country. Reconnecting the neighborhoods to the amenities. Building the amenities into the housing development. And this industry is going to be poised to meet that challenge, to do more of these choice neighborhood developments here in Arizona, and I'm so happy to hear it was the first choice in Arizona, in Phoenix and in other parts of the state. So with that, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Jasmine, for your story. What a great story. That's what it's all about, right? Housing is a platform. That's what it's all about. If we give people a chance in this country, and people deserve that chance, they're going to rise to the occasion. So now let's get on to the main event, the check presentation. It's my great pleasure to be here today to make the supplemental award to the City of Phoenix for the Choice Neighborhood Program in the amount of $2.5 million.